We are now?
We are now.
3, 2, 1.
Hey.
Hey.
All right. I think we're good.
All right. Welcome to Tuned In with David and Chris.
It's been a little while since we've been here.
Excuse me for my cough.
No worries.
I hope that we find you in good spirits this evening. Today is, what is today? Today is Friday
the 26th.
Okay, so let me start again. Hey, Chris.
Hey, David.
What's going on?
Not much. Happy to be back in the seat, the hot seat.
The hot seat, so to speak.
Right.
Well, we welcome you all to another round called Spiritual Assistance, here with Tuned In with David and Chris on YouTube. And we have been away from you guys for a minute because a lot of unexpected things happened over the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And so we decided that what we're going to do today is we are going to speak for 20 minutes.
Right. Keep
25 minutes, we're going to keep it short, and we're just going to generally air out what we think has happened, what we think is happening, and what we think is going to happen. And so, the reason that I came up with the title Supernatural Assistance.
Is it spiritual or supernatural?
Spiritual, supernatural assistance.
Okay.
Supernatural meaning that which is beyond the realm of the five senses, so to speak. And in a time like this, I am measuring each word that I use.
Right.
Because I think that people need to come back to their center.
Right.
Now, I'm going to bring up a few things that I see. We're just going to scan over it. There has been an explosion of information, alternative news, that has been coming through the pipeline for years. And I think that all of the people who used to be called, quote, conspiracy theorists, if there was a year to start believing in those people,
it would be right now.
It would be right now. It would be right now because we're living in times that are. So
we're living in times that can't be explained without understanding these really old theories that people came up with. I mean, when you look across the country and you see what's going on, logic doesn't explain it. When you have an understanding of what's going on beneath the surface in the background, it becomes a lot clearer and things start to button together and the loose ends kind of get tied up. You realize, we all, I don't know about you, but I grew up thinking I could, if I was just the president for a year, I could fix a lot of the world's problems. And over time, I'm realizing some of these people in power like to have certain problems because it benefits them in ways that are concealed to the public.
Can you give me an example?
I think the rioting that's going on around the world right now is a really, really good example of that. You see, even at a surface level, if you have a brain, you should be able to realize that the DNC is quite literally inciting violence. And you might think, oh, they're doing it for this reason or for that reason, but in any event, there's no aspect of unity or coming together or fixing things that inciting riots and insurrections promotes.
Well, let's just say that the real problem, can we say what the real problem is? Do we still have freedom of speech?
That's a good topic.
I have freedom of speech.
It's
I have freedom of speech because there's no followers on this.
You have to
we
be-
just open up this thing
That's
and
right.
we're talking about things in a smart way that's not necessarily promoting. It's not about promoting one side or the other. What it's about is seeing through all of the lies and the nonsense and being able to agree en masse as a culture with what is true and what is not true. And what I see right now is that whatever programming has been going on since the 50s, and there are so many programs, more than I have time to mention. But it was once famously said that once the entire American public all believes untruths, then we'll know we've been successful. Like no one, in other words, is going to be able to agree on this, that, or the other thing because everybody's so fractioned in their opinions. So certain populations and certain cultures and certain groups of people are spoon-fed certain amounts of information, specific information, vibrations, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. And I think that they knew things that they have been harming the world with. And we're pretty darn sure that every single branch of our government is compromised with people who do not wish us well.
Yeah, no, that's right on the money. And I think if you want to tie it into spirituality and supernatural awareness, what I would say is not only are we only getting one side, and that's the far left side from our media, we're also getting a lot of hateful rhetoric from the same side. And hate and anger and rage and violence has implications beyond the five senses that we see. You know, you'd probably be the right one to talk about that. You know, how spreading messages of hate manifests more divide, more negativity, more destruction, more violence, and less
Okay,
tolerance.
so here's how I want to approach this. I want to approach this as if I was an extraterrestrial from another planet and I was looking at the situation. And if you look at the situation as is, first we had COVID, then we had tornadoes, then we had race riots. And
what do you think is next?
The only logical conclusion to top everything else off would be a mock staged alien invasion.
How about terrorism?
Yeah, and there could be that as well.
How about that dust cloud that's rolling in off the coast of Africa?
What does that mean?
I have no idea.
The news is so crazy. I don't believe anything that I read anymore.
Yeah.
I just I skim through and I'm like, you get the idea that they are playing the people.
They are.
They are dividing the people, and a lot of the young people that are involved in a lot of this are in the wrong.
Yeah. How do you think do you think that those people can be convinced otherwise? Because there's a lot of people out there that are doing some really bad stuff right now. There's a lot of murder,
like really trying to hurt
and
people,
rape and robbery and
exactly
assaults.
That's not how a healthy society functions.
Yeah.
And whatever justification is used to behave like that is no justification at all. And I don't see the mass majority of people ever being okay with that. I don't think people have ever been okay with that. And, you can tell a lot about a tree based on its fruit.
We're seeing a lot of stuff right now where the left has decided that it's going to try its best to convince and persuade, you might even say coerce, because it is with violence, to coerce the American public into thinking that we should not have cops, that we shouldn't have guns.
Yeah, we've gone from coronavirus to communism in a period of like 90 days.
And some of these organizations, I'm not going to name them, are proclaiming themselves as Marxists and extreme socialists.
Yeah,
Some are
and
anarchists.
guess what? I think that's a lot more, and also, that they're LGBTQ people. That's too much.
Well, it also the whole
That's
issue.
too much.
The whole issue with BLM is that the message from BLM is that we're racist, right? We're all racist. The problem is that no one race or ethnicity is a monolith. There are black Republicans.
Who made up that rule?
Exactly.
Who made up
it's
that rule?
become
That was the founders?
It's become a mob where if you disagree with them, because I know and we follow a lot of black people who don't want anything to do with BLM.
Yeah, they don't agree. But those
And
guys
it's
are
like
polite.
BLM in itself is promoting racism. I mean, there's a county, I think it's in Colorado, that passed an ordinance that you only have to wear a mask for coronavirus if you're white. Everyone else is exempt.
Yeah, either the virus attacks everyone or it doesn't attack anyone.
Right.
So,
but that doesn't make national news. I'm sorry, that's insane.
So do you sense that the country is in a weaker position? I mean, honestly, that's been part of the stress, and part of the reason why, and that I was telling you that we should announce and make part of the podcast that, I think it's a big emotional toll on people who are productive, people who work every day, people who are entrepreneurs, people who are trying to make things happen. I mean, it sucks. It sucks. It sucks for everyone.
It sucks all around.
Listen, I can't personalize, and I can't get into comparing, but everybody has their trials and tribulations in life based on their heritage, their background, their sexuality, their size, their everything about a person that can be seen or judged or felt is going to be seen or felt or judged. I'm just concerned that we've moved into a place where comedians aren't even comfortable to tell jokes for fear that they're going to be labeled XYZ. I think that the whole
also look at Dave
being
Chappelle's
offended thing and all this stuff, you know what it all comes back down to?
Yeah. What?
We need to return back to God and basic values of common decency, and being an American needs to become a good thing. And the people, even like myself, who've had a lot of gripes and a lot of issues with all kinds of things, I always looked to be a constructive person from within and to fix whatever needs to be fixed. And not to get into, I would never think to destroy somebody else's property.
The fact that they're trying to justify that is outrageous. And the idea that, property can be rebuilt. A lot of these people aren't realizing that the property that they're destroying, maybe they do realize it, that the property they're destroying is owned by minority business owners. They're also burning people's homes down. But, you go back
Well,
to...
they're also making a lot of things very difficult for the elderly population who need medicines or need services
They're destroying grocery
and we were looking
stores.
forward to, I guess, kind of trying to go back to normal a little bit. And then, we had this whole series of events and honestly, I almost don't even want to pay too much attention to it because whatever you focus on becomes bigger.
Right.
And I got to be honest with you. When are the sealed indictments going to be unsealed? When are people going to realize that Hillary Clinton is a criminal, and so is Bill Clinton, and so is Obama? And why is everybody not able to understand that there's a lot of problems in this country that have to do with the highest levels of the government, and nobody wants to talk about it? People are believing in things that are not true, that are narratives that are being spoon-fed to them, and that's what they're used to, being spoon-fed. But you have to really break out of that now, because if we as 3D beings are going to evolve to 4D and then 5D, and then also come to understand that the aliens have been here with us from all along, and that there are a lot of other things that are going on right now that's not in the Matrix. So you seem like a freaking crazy person when you try to tell somebody about things that they haven't heard of before.
And things that they cannot see with their eyes. I will say, wrapping it back to supernatural things and spirituality, I'm not a religious person. Learning about everything that's been going on, though, in the last many months has made me feel very close to God or Source, Prime Creator, the supernatural, the other potential realms out there. Well, they're not potential. They're factual. I mean, these things exist. There's so much evidence that they exist. But we've become docile. And we've become sheep as a society. And there are many of us, thankfully, who are waking up to that fact. And
waking up to the fact that COVID was a way to make us sick, to shut us up, to put us in the house,
right,
to kill us, to depopulate the planet. And
it goes much deeper than that.
Since that didn't work as well as they thought, then the next game the deep state played was race riots. So the question is, what do you think? And what do you think is coming next in all seriousness? Is it going to be terrorism?
I have a strong feeling that over the next few days, a lot of information is going to start to come out. And I think there's going to be a period of violence or uncertainty. I think that when we look at the absolute craziness and unpredictability to the average person anyway of what's happened this year, I would expect some more crazy things like Yellowstone erupting, causing darkness all across North America. I could see a terrorist attack of some sort. But the thing is that if you follow along with the information that Q is exposing and has been exposing for years, you realize, and if you know anything about quantum physics, you realize that your thoughts and your actions and your words affect reality. And I've been noticing just over the last couple of months that a lot of people are waking up. So many people are waking up to these lies that we've been fed, and the fact that we really are living in a big matrix that's controlled by a select few that has a really bad set of intentions. And there are so many people talking about it now that YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all these other and mainstream media are doing everything in their power to discredit and silence and censor opposing voices. It has devolved into such a state right now in the United States where if you disagree with the mainstream narrative, you're a racist, you're a xenophobe, you're X, Y, and Z. They want you fired, they want you X, whatever. The one big thing is that through all this, if you are not centered, if you don't take any time to get yourself back to a place of calm and serenity and peace and greater understanding of the world around you, you're gonna lose a lot of sleep. You're gonna lose a lot of friendships. You're gonna be very uncomfortable. Right now is a period of time that has probably not been seen in humanity for many thousands of years. And it's absolutely critical right now, not only to come together with other people, especially people who are different than you, but to come together with yourself and not in a state of anger, right? Like, yes, get your go bag ready, have your guns ready if you have guns, survival food and things like that, but come to a place of calm and realize that things are going to work out.
So let's build on that. So come to a place of calm. Come to a place where your breath and your thoughts merge as one. Your breathing will lead to a place of tranquility and calmness, where you reconnect with source. The cell phone and all the scrolling is rewiring our brains.
Yes.
And we have to become very conscious of the dopamine drops and all the stuff.
Of the addictions.
The hits, right, the addictions.
Yeah.
That you can't put the phone down, you have to check one more time and all that kind of stuff. It's very important, especially if people are at home, to develop a more meditative and kind of systemized way of sleep ritual so that, around a certain time, you do a certain thing and you know that you're going to go to sleep, and all the gadgets really need to be turned off. But we kind of, I think we strayed. We're going to have to end soon because we've
got about 7 minutes.
Have about 7 minutes. So I'll just say that I think that there's no way that we will get out of our current, because there's a lot of people that just feel, let's just burn it all down and we'll start over again.
That is the pinnacle of ignorance.
And I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about burning down, but America does not agree with that. That's a very, 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 very small fraction of the actual society.
Yeah.
And without going into that rabbit hole, there's things we'll talk about,
They're making a lot of enemies. They're building up Trump's position, and they have no idea.
Do you think they have no idea?
Yes, I do. Going back to centering yourself real quick.
Yeah, no, go into it with the supernatural part.
The actions that you take of calming yourself and transcending through meditation. And, it doesn't have to be that intense. You can also journal. Exercise is important. Eating nutritious food, juicing, smoothies, fasting for some people. All of these things not only improve your health, but they change your vibrations. In the world, this quote unquote reality, which is a matrix that we're living in, is dictated primarily by frequencies and vibrations, radio waves, and other forms of waves. When you walk into a room and you feel bad vibes or good vibes before you even see anyone, that's all real. And you can not only change your vibration, but you can change the vibration of the people around you if you have a good or a bad vibration. Now, if a whole bunch of people in a city are doing everything that they can to pray, to meditate, to think positive thoughts, and not superficially positive, like, oh, today's going to be a good day. I swear it's going to be good. I mean, really, affirmations.
We'll call it holding peace, like being peace, like being love, and all of those positive things. What I've heard is that the world only needs 20 people like that positioned all around the planet, and World War III is not possible. So I would like to suggest that people reach out through whatever wavelength that they can to lift themselves up and start to research the raising of your vibration, because we are definitely making quantum leaps. People who are not are going to have a real hard time.
Yeah,
This is a time of letting go and allowing.
And there's going to be a lot of people who, like you said, are on the wrong side of history, and some of those people are going to be able to be brought into the fold and made aware that they've made a mistake, that they've,
a lot of
that
them
they've
are waking up
followed a demagogue of sorts. But a number of them will never come to. I mean, we see people like that online commenting all the time. And I just want to say, the most important thing is not to put other people down. It's not to make other people feel worthless. But if someone, just because you practice centering yourself and meditation and good sleep rituals and things like that, doesn't make you unable to defend yourself. If someone comes banging down your door and they're trying to rob you or your family, you have the right to defend yourself. That is not, they're two different things. You can do both. And this is a time period where you have to keep your head on a swivel, because even if you live in the suburbs, these people are threatening to go into the suburbs, and they have. But staying calm, focused, and having clarity is going to resolve these issues, and it's going to literally, and people should research this stuff on their own time, and we'll talk more about it in the future, in the near future. But your thoughts and your feelings literally manifest, and they change the world around you. And every single strand of DNA that we have is a tuning fork. We're large antennas. We're receivers and we're transmitters. And the good vibes can outweigh the bad, but there is a lot of evil in this planet right now, and a lot of it is about to come to surface. We have 2 minutes.
Okay, well, I would like to wrap this up.
Sure.
And I would like to say, what do you think? Do you think that we have so many problems on all levels, all branches of government, the CIA, the FBI, the police, and all of the leaders in the past who we are now finding out through Anthony Weiner's laptop are guilty of crimes against children, organ harvesting, and also sexual trafficking? Or do you think we're going to work our way out logically? Do you think we're going to work our way out spiritually? And if so, how do you think that's going to look in the coming months? You can leave your comments down below. Chris and I very much appreciate you tuning in and cheerleading us on. And as we become more comfortable with the genre and we learn, we are going to share with you. So take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Indeed. Have a good night.
Good night.